Welcome to the next episode of WaterparkRangers Let's Play Wind Waker. Last episode, we did some Windfall and side quests. This episode, we will continue that trend and finish up doing all the side quests we can get done on this island for the time being. So this one right now just involves talking to Zunari for a long time. Eventually, he'll give you the town flower. This item is going to be used in a trading quest at a later point. You can technically get that done now, but I feel like we should save it for later, just so we have something to do for later. Not that there's not many things to do for later, but just there's a dungeon coming up and I don't want to delay it for too much longer. So instead, what we're going to do with the town flowers is we're going to buy quite a bunch of them and set them down on these pedestals you see around the town. So just take them out of your bag and set them in their sockets. After I set the first couple, I'm going to speed up so you can just see where all the other locations outdoors are. There are indoors ones, but they don't count, so just forget about the indoors ones. Just watch carefully as I speed up the video so you can see where the remaining pedestals are. Have fun! So after you're done decorating all those flowers, and you probably noticed that you could only get 3 at a time because it's a weird rule that Zunari makes for you, go and talk to this guy a couple of times after you've got all those pedestals filled, and he'll give you a piece of heart as a reward, which is pretty nice. Easy to miss. Thanks for helping with this work. Little Joy Jr.! Little Joy Jr.! He did not just call us that. Excuse me for a moment, I'm just gonna make sure that this guy gets what he deserves. That's what you get for messing with Little Joy Jr. Where does he get the guts to call us that? Alright, and happen off screen so we can pretend that he's dead for good. We'll go to the next day to make it permanent. Or next night, rather. Anyway, it's time to catch up with things that actually matter. We're continuing the side quests with the striped shirt guy and the orange shirt girl, as well as the picture of the full moon. So I'm going to see if I can get the picture of the full moon. And if not, then we'll just change the time, go back to the other side quest. Alright, I'm going to see if we can continue with the other side quest. You'll be able to know because you can talk to him and then he'll say something different like, "That's it, buddy, I've decided to invite her for coffee," or something. If he says that, you know you're getting somewhere. Yep, okay. So that's all where it needs to be. Alright, how's the night looking? Do we have a full moon yet? Nope. Alright, we're gonna switch back to the day then. Alright, let's see if we can make any progress. Yeah, the next symbol you'll know is that, for once, the striped shirt guy won't appear in the morning where he normally does. That means you have to go in here instead. It also means that you've pretty much completed the side quest involving the striped shirt guy and the orange shirt girl. So we're really getting somewhere with this. I think you just gotta talk to the girl in the orange shirt, and then you get the reward? Yep, piece of heart. So that's good. But we still need to finish up the full moon one. So that takes care of them. We're getting these Windfall Island side quests done really efficiently. Really glad that it's just been so easy so far. This might even be the last one for a while. Alright, I think this is finally it. Yeah, there it is, the full moon, right where it needs to be. So it needs to be a color pictograph. Even if it's just the moon, you need to have it in color. And there isn't exactly a man in the moon, there's more like a weird dragon anchor head in the moon. But that's just what it looks like to me. You might see something different from your own perspective. Alright, and so you might be wondering, well, what's that full moon pictograph got to do with anything? Or there is this random guy who at night is standing on top of that bridge with a telescope. if you talk to him here a few times and then give him that color pictograph, you have to say, yes, I understand how you feel completely or whatever. And then he'll be open to taking the pictograph from you. It will only be the full moon. That's what he's asking for. He gives you a riddle like something perfectly pale. And it's the moon. The moon! Alright, and he gives us a treasure chart as a reward, which is pretty nice. So, that pretty much takes care of, I guess, all the side quests. But we should probably just stock up on a couple of items before we leave. And what better place to do that than the bomb shop? Well, remember how back when we tried to first visit Windfall Island, well, we obviously succeeded in visiting, but we tried to get some bombs from the guy, and he wouldn't sell them to us, not because we were underage, it would be a perfectly good explanation, but because they were way too expensive. Well, after his little encounter with the pirates, he's changed his evil ways and is now a very friendly bomb salesman. He's also changed his hairstyle, so perhaps they're implying that his hair had something to do with his wicked nature. Actually, there's a character in Twilight Princess who's kind of like him, named Chudley, who runs a certain mart at a point in the game, and you won't know I'm talking about, you won't know what I'm talking about unless you've played Twilight Princess pretty extensively, because it's kind of deep in the game. But it's interesting to see the parallels between him and the bomb guy. Anyway, at this point I'm just going through our charts and making sure we have them opened up, in case we come across any islands where these treasure charts might have treasure for us to get. It would be a shame to not get that treasure, since we have such an extensive wallet. Actually, speaking of which, one of these charts should actually be for this, for this very island. Remember how back at the auction, there was a chart that had a starting bid of just 5 rupees compared to the pretty expensive starting bids of the others? Well, as you're going to find out, there was a reason for that. That chart leads to the treasure on this island, and it is easily the worst reward of the quote-unquote special rewards you can get from treasure charts in the game. It's kind of a joke, seeing as you get the best stuff at Windfall Island, there's so much stuff to get there, and yet it has the worst reward of all hidden in its waters. There would be no reason to go after it normally, except that this is 100% completion. So, for the, I forget the exact amount. If you want, I guess you could kind of go look at that video to see exactly how much we paid for that chart. For starting bid of 5 rupees, we definitely paid around over 100. The reward is a green rupee. So basically that's a massive loss. It's almost as if Zunari drew that chart himself just so he could steal from the villagers, and it's highly implied at a few points that he's trying things like that to get off on the right foot in his business, with pretty questionable actions, and perhaps drawing up a chart that has a rupee as a reward and making people pay like over 100 for it is one of those actions. It's actually a pretty smart plan. Anyway, we're going to be setting sail towards the next island southeast of here, so I will cut ahead to it in a couple seconds. Alright, we're at the new quadrant, and there's a sea platform here, so it's going to be our first stop in this quadrant, and probably the only stop in this quadrant for this episode, frankly because we don't have that much time left, and by the time we're done rating it, I think I might cut it. Anyway, an interesting thing is that the King of Red Lion's head follows you, so when you're walking up, he kind of like leers after you. It's kind of creepy. It's like he's trying to look up your pants or something. So, yes, just a couple bokoblins, you know, the normal kind of fodder that you normally encounter up here. This should not be difficult at all. I wonder if there's even a reward. I think there's a reward for every platform, but I can't be certain. Oh yeah, and one of these days I've also got to start using the Hero's Charm so I can show you what it does. That's just a side thought, because obviously it's not going to do any good at the moment. But I don't want to completely forget about it. I mean, we went out of our way to get the item, so we might as well use it at some point, just so you can see what it does. So the reward is... oh my god, the worst possible thing ever! A Bokobaba seed. Wow, that's... the only thing it's good for is, like, giving to Beetle for 5 rupees. Yes, I know, there technically can be used to make blue potions, but why do that when you could just gather blue chew jelly and get it at a much more convenient place? Well, see you next episode, I guess.